Okay, and now there's a second actually. Well, I just figured people know to log on, yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for taking the time to come on in and check out our Ukrainian benefit. We're absolutely delighted to have International Master Ilya Golichenko, currently living in Ukraine. Ilya, you care to say a few words? And
hello
we're so
everyone.
happy.
Glad to see you and glad to participate in this Simul, and hope that we will have a great time today.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much looking forward to it. And thanks everyone already for the generous donations. We're very appreciative. And as we mentioned, 50% is going straight to UNICEF, and then Ilya's taken home a big chunk of the rest. So I'm just going to link in the comments so that if anyone wants to still continue to donate, we're still accepting it until the end of the Simul. That's no problem. So I'm going to post that link right now. Now, in terms of the actual Simul, we ran into some technical difficulties regarding registration, but everyone who is currently approved to join the Simul, we recommend you join now, and we'll make sure everyone's on the list, and then we'll get this event started. And once again, if you have a Simul where you're, oh, 1 second, I'm getting a call from a participant.
All right. So.
Yeah, now I see that more people wants to play, and that's pretty good.
Hold on, we will get that Zoom back up and running.
Also, I wish good luck to all participants, and I don't want to lose, but I mean, it's possible that it's gonna be great if you can beat me.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. You've been playing chess for quite a long time, Ilya. I would think from your very high rating.
Yes. I mean, when I was younger, my rating was higher, but I mean, generally yes, and also now I mostly work like chess coach, but I still play pretty well, and that's why it's can be pretty interesting, and
Do you have many students?
Actually, quite a lot, and I even just I tried to count, and I think that I had students from over 40 different countries, and
wow,
that's pretty nice experience.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. You must learn a lot about different cultures while you're teaching chess.
Yeah. So also I had also background in other spheres. I was a yoga teacher and traveled a lot. So
Cool.
And just sometimes I use some different things during my lessons, and
Very cool.
Yeah.
You use yoga type ideas in your lessons?
No. I mean, yoga, it was just I think for practicing different cultures, and also visited India, and
wow.
So mostly I also have just a degree in psychology, so mostly I use such knowledge, and in that sphere.
What part of India did you visit when you visited?
Actually, I visited I think north of India, and also Nepal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I visited North India too with my school a few years ago to Himachal Pradesh, where the Himalayas are around there and stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty cool place, and actually I heard different things about India and about people what type of experience they got in India. But what I heard that anyway people just have some emotions about India. No people who can say nothing happened in India.
So people are still getting kicked, but We do have 5 participants up. We just had one get kicked. Oh, and now we got 6. Okay. So this is looking good.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
There's
check.
one more person that we're expecting, Chesin Kodafi.
Yeah. So now.
But it's
We
looking
can raise
good. We
the
already
team.
have 6 players, so this is a better showing. So just so you know, I was on the phone because of a registration thing. Yes, somebody had donated, but I hadn't received it, and then I got it, so we're good. Yeah, so approved them. Oh, but let me message you what his name is so that you know he's good to go for the tournament.
Yeah.
People, they're getting kicked because what? They're not friends with Ilya on Lichess?
I think like Lichess not so friendly to usual people. I don't know.
No, I wasn't joking. Like, are they not? They need to be your friend on Lichess.com?
No, they should only have to be members of the club.
Oh.
So this is some sort of tech thing. So the thing about Lichess is it's an open source software. So there's glitches, you know.
It's like Wikipedia,
It
you
happens.
know, anybody can put something on Wikipedia. Every now and then you might run into something strange.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we are waiting for one more guy, and I think
We're waiting
that
for
we
one
can
more
start.
guy. Let me give him a quick call.
Yeah, I think
because
it's like in any
looking
Simul
pretty
or
good.
in any tournament should be a player who just can be late. Even like if you play Blitz, I know 3+2.
Yeah.
Like,
Even in the
somebody
simul,
can be late like on 1 or 2 minutes, and then oh my
I'm
god.
usually that player, Ilya. You know, I'll walk into the tournament 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will, and you organize the tournament, so it's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are organizer, so it's pretty hard for you to be late. That's why somebody else need to be.
Well, you know, I'm usually like,
late.
I often have to call people in our tournaments just to get them to show up while their game's going, you know? Yeah. So I make up for it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm calling him back real quick. And then we'll get started.
Great. This is going to be so much fun. Yeah, I haven't seen a simul in a while. They're always like one of the coolest parts of chess, simultaneous exhibitions. Very, very fun.
Yeah, and I had the experience, when I played against 20 people, it was pretty hard because, all these games come through at you like this, too
Right.
fast, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? I need to be concentrated because, like normally, even if I play like, bullet games, it's like not so tough, but it's like nice experience.
And do you have the settings set up so that it's random sides? So you'll be playing both white and black?
Yes. So it's
nice. That'll be fun. Oh, I really hope I get white. I was trying to explain, Ilya, I don't know if you heard, but I'm a Saragossa specialist. There's very few.
You told me.
Yeah.
I think that it would be nice experience, and you're like, viewers can see how to play against such openings.
Yeah, I actually developed an opening. So later on, we'll probably do a simul where everyone's playing against the Saragossa Schneider Gambit.
It's interesting stuff about that. When especially it's like my students who like not so strong, normally if their opponents play normal openings, they know what to do. But when opponents play some weird openings, and bad ideas, they don't know what to do. And I thought you just need to play normal chess, and that's
right.
That's how.
Yeah, I played in a Blitz tournament for the Chicago Open. And I played against a lady. You can't call her a lady. I'm sorry. A little girl who has like a women grandmaster coach. She's going to be a fantastic player. And so we played black and white. First, I played black against her, and I played the Caro Kann, and we went like at least 18 moves deep in theory. I mean, like she was going mainline theory, I was pretty impressed because she's only like an 1150, Blitz player, and she's in 2nd or 3rd grade. You know what I mean? Like she's not very old.
Yeah.
But then I played C3 and I gained an advantage in 3 moves. You know what I mean? On the other game. So
I think that what people ignore, that you need to be good in chess, not only about like openings other lines, and about also creative, and to be like I think just to be honest with yourself, and even if you don't know what to do, just follow something. And that's what all people like don't know what to do if they see something unusual and saying like, oh my god, what I need to do. But also another thing about internet, like, I mean, we told about one guy who need to be late, and another thing that always should be some like Indian guy or other cheater who play against you like 99%. I remember previous like Simul, I had such opponent who won a game in 40 moves, and especially I don't know about like can you feel that you play against cheater, but for a strong player it's easy because you understand that nobody will play in that way, only cheater can play so nice, like even Magnus Carlsen play worse, but cheaters, they are like the best players in the world.
So that's why we were so careful about our entries. I'll just say we had a surplus of donations of people that aren't joining the tournament. So this Ed Moncho 2020, he's suspect. If he plays a perfect game, we know he was a cheater. He hasn't paid, but everyone else, he's riding on the house money. You know what I mean?
So, how much money have we raised so far? Because I can put it on the screen.
I'm not sure. Sure. I'll let you know at the end, but donations are still coming in.
If you want to estimate, it's a fun thing to have on the screen when you're raising money.
Okay, but
I mean, at least $100 have been raised.
Okay, I'll put that on the screen.
I can say that now.
Oh, by the way, the guy just arrived, so we can start.
So that's what I can say, that we can start even. So
let's do it.
Okay. Finally. Perfect.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh no, I'm black.
Okay, we started. So let's check it out. So let's see.
I will play normal things. Okay.
So that is not the game. That is a different game. Everybody hang in there. And we will be getting the games on. So here we have first board up is Toto Fish. Okay, second board up is Godliness.
Here we go.
Third board up is Chess NY Codify. Going back to board one. Fourth board up is... Oh, and you guys can mute me, or do you want me to mute myself in Zoom so you don't have to hear me? Yeah, let me do that. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's fine, because I just have you muted on the Twitch.
You can just... Okay, so you guys can just mute me.
I just shut down the volume on the Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why you don't hear a feedback loop. We've ran into that.
Well, I'm gonna mute myself on Zoom because I don't think you guys want to hear me just talking.
But then I can't hear you.
But if I need to say anything to you, I'll say it. You know what I mean?
Oh, then you'll just unmute.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
All right.
You're gonna miss hearing your voice though.
I don't think they benefit from.
Am I still live in theory on Zoom? Should I mute myself too?
Yeah, unless you want to talk to the viewers, mute yourself.
Okay, I'll keep myself muted unless I got something good to say.
Okay, so
that's why I don't know. I think that I need to tell something, but generally I mean it's normal openings, and so good luck to my opponents.
Okay, so then
you got lucky that I don't have the Saragossa.
We can make a special stream for that.
Sounds good. A little blitz match after,
Then we got. This is board 5. Okay, so it's
or perhaps
showing
just
us
a new
all
event.
the games from
sounds good.
From IM Golichenko's perspective. That's very cool.
Oh, hilarious. Edmoncho or whatever, since he wasn't a member of the club, just automatically got booted. So he's not playing on the house money. He's just not playing.
Okay. So I think the best strategy is just to play aggressively, and so we will see.
Okay, so here, let's try.
The good news is you've got some pretty tough opponents. We might not have as many as your last Simul, but we've got some quality players that are joining.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this
I
is,
think that's great.
No one who's an absolute monster. I wasn't able to get the people from the Philippines that are like titled players, but still should be great. And there is one titled player hiding in the bunch of us. We'll see if you can figure it out.
I don't think it'll be that hard. Make the board a little bit more pretty to look at. Hold on. About like that? Is that nicer? Nah, it's a little too dark, right? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to focus on all things because I even check chat room, and yeah, some people complain about that. Yeah, the road that it's some technical moments, and yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I think we've got the technical.
Oh yeah, Chlorophyll was totally supposed to be a player. He joined like 20 times.
Yeah, it's strange that that happened just technically, but people should understand. I mean, when you explain, it's not like you had any control over it. Okay, so here
I
we
think that yeah, for guys who was kicked, and we can yeah just maybe make some excuse and yeah, organize something. We will see.
So in this game, which is board number one I'm very excited about, Toto, who always wins or very often wins the Fat Cat tournaments, is playing Ilya, and here we've seen. This is gonna be a good one because we've seen a pawn trade and then another pawn trade, and White has obviously the queen under attack. I guess
You're
you
playing
do
too principled. I don't like it.
a retreat, and then okay, so they're playing this board. It's a very standard.
Yeah, sometimes I play weird opening, but today I decided that it's better to show all my best to my viewers.
Yeah, what is this? A Queen's Gambit? Or you can play this with c4 first, or you can play it with d4 first. I mean, this is just, you see this all the time. It's great solid opening. Let me center this title. I think that's a very important thing to do. Okay. So now, which board are we? Hold on a second. Let's scroll that a little bit. There we go. Cool. So, in this top board, what has happened? We saw the queen go to the edge, and then, okay. So the central advanced pawn that white has is supported, and wow.
Toto Fish with a minute over his starting time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toto Fish tends to play very fast.
It's a good example of nice time management.
Good time management indeed. Board number one, heating up. We see a queen trade offer. Now I assume Ilya doesn't see the moves as soon as they're played. He's going through the different boards. He's playing a move on that board. He's playing a move against Godliness, who is still thinking. Okay, this game's been... Okay, so it's pretty similar to the Godliness game, but the bishop has been developed. And then board 4, we see black. Oh, very interesting. Wow. Yeah. Very cool.
Deciding between capturing the pawn or bishop f4.
And then on board
F5,
5, we see this. Man, I wish we had more boards. It sucks about the technical issues, but what can you do, y'all? What can you do? We tried our best. We'll do better next time. That is for sure. For sure. It'd be funny if I started like...
Actually, some comments about this game against Tota Fish, and yeah, I mean, he played pretty passive, and now I think that he can have some problems, as it's possible move just eat his pawn on f6, but much better to use your chances and continue your attack. So bishop d3 is much better move.
Interesting. So there's another player who had made a comment one time. He's actually in the tournament, Chessing Gaddafi. He said, the person who moves the pawns in front of their king first usually loses.
Yeah. So now my position is pretty comfortable, and yeah, I mean, about Tota Fish, some comments. So yeah, I can just attack his rook, or I think that good move, just take it and then activate my rooks.
I see, yeah, pretty comfortable.
It's very interesting to hear him talking about this game while
Against Musdream, it was not the best my opening, but I decided also to play aggressively, and now I started attack on king side, so I didn't castle, and it was a good idea.
He's just giving up on castling in this game, or what?
Is Masrim white?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very cool to hear your commentary. I go to the game when you're talking about it and I'm going through the moves. It's very cool to hear.
Okay, yeah, so I will try to do it more time.
As much as you want. I'm just saying it's very fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's also pretty nice for me. Yeah. So now I'm trying to think what to do against Tota Fish, and yeah, the best way just start some attack, and yeah, I'm thinking about some sacrifices on g6, but it's better to do it with tempo. So I'm thinking about like bishop h6, move some kind of that moves.
Okay, first we're starting with this.
Okay.
I'd like to show you what my screen looks like because I'm trying this 3D format, because I realized I was getting better at online chess than in real life. So I'm trying to now play as if I'm playing in real life on the computer. I'll just share my screen for just a second, just so you can see it.
Yeah, share your screen.
Do you see it?
Oh, wow. Wow, how do you play like that?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty wild, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Against Helisty, it's better not to trade knights. I just move knight g5 with the d even knight h3 and try to mate him. So yeah, I mean, Tota Fish, maybe he's a hero today, and yeah, he played bishop d6. It looks good, and now I'm trying to think about some sacrifice on g6. Probably it's like not the best practical idea, but it can be pretty interesting move. And also it's good to follow like your spirit and not only play best moves, but also just like, you know, some nice moves. And yeah,
I love that advice, because I've noticed sometimes you just gotta do the sacrifice, even if it's not entirely sound, because it goes with like the rhythm of like the story you're telling, you know, and usually you come up with a victory because you have attacking chances and you get to play the kind of chess you want.
Yeah, against Masdream, I think it's like not the best his idea just to move his bishop on e5, because now I can capture it and then move knight g4 and he can have some problems with that. Okay, so Tota Fish wants to fight. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the best idea here just to keep more pieces on the board. So I don't want to trade my light squared bishop and I want to save it. And but yeah, originally I'm thinking about moving bishop away, but now I see that I can try to eat some material and eat his bishop on a d6. So I'm trying to think how I can do that. Yeah, actually I like this idea. So practically it's better to save bishops, but in this situations better to capture, and I saw some practical ideas. Okay, e4. I mean, Hellisti, he played pretty good move. Okay, and then my plan against Toto Fish, like bishop h6.
So he's very into this Toto Fish game. Toto Fish is presenting some very interesting questions. I guess, what do you do? This is a forced queen trade unless you go here.
He's a fighter, though. He really is.
Yeah, but it's strange thing. It's like I have a feeling that I play against only one player, because like after like, you know, switch like only shows me one games, and then I see in other games I just didn't make a move. So I see it, and that's not so cool. Okay, I will try to do my best.
Okay, let's go to board 2 where Godliness is playing. Oh, it's gotten very interesting.
Against Tota Fish also, like, I mean, his problem, I think, is that he played too fast. I mean, he has even more time, and he didn't.
I totally agree, Ilya. He plays in these very long tournaments, you know, like those 5-hour matches plus, and he plays just as fast as he's playing now. I don't understand. He always finishes with more time than he started, and it's like, come on, man! You're such an incredible player. He's one of the best blitz players in the country.
No, that's why he plays so fast, because he's used to being like the best, so he just doesn't. But if you punish him for it, eventually he's gonna slow down.
I don't think he slows down.
but right now he lost, like, I mean, 2 pounds, and I mean, it's also some kind of important things for people to know, that you have different time control, different strategies. Cool. And you know, if you talk about like blitz, you need to play fast, and even if you can find the best plan, but you spend like 3 minutes, and it's not the best idea. But if you play like rapid as we play right now, it's pretty, I mean, not the best time management, just to play too fast, and then you can lose a game. That's what like now he's close to do that.
Yeah, just a patience thing. Ooh, nice fork.
Okay.
But I guess my point was, I think since he plays so much blitz, he always plays fast now. Yeah,
and that's the problem. That's why sometimes people who play good on internet, they couldn't play well in real chess. And against Muslim, like, that's what happened. Like, actually, like now I have a choice which piece to eat, and also I'm trying to think like what the idea is the best, and I like more to eat his knight on g3 and make it again complicated. So I mean, it's also a good strategy when you play against weaker players, just to make it complicated. And against Hellisti, now I'm trying to think about some even crazy moves like knight h3, but with the idea to start some attack. And okay, let's try it.
Okay.
I mean, even if it's like not the best move,
that's very
have
cool.
Some fun.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, very cool. And then you take this pawn. And I guess you just have.
Okay, and I see I won one game against, I think, Tota Fish, and I mean, that's what we discussed. Like, he like pretty fast player, but I mean,
it's over.
He can win easily or lose a game, and like how it works.
Wow.
Against Masriam, I think that it's pretty smart idea not to eat my pawn on f2, as it's open his king position. So now it's harder for me to take his king. But
Ilya, can I ask a question? Is the reason you beat Toto Fish because of your 2 pawns on the queen side? Is that what's going on? Because you guys haven't.
I mean, 2 pawns, but also his bishop pinned like on c8. So I mean, he will lose.
Oh, does he not have time to fianchetto it?
I mean, even develop it. It's not only fianchetto. But about like Masrim also, I think that he made a blunder, and it's the problem that he spent not so much time. I mean, sometimes it's happened. People think, oh, it's like I'm lucky, I got something, but indeed they just miss something. So Okay. Against Hellas, I think it's smart idea not to accept my sacrifice.
Oh, very
And I'm
smart.
trying to think how I can continue.
Wow, very smart. Very cool.
Okay.
But then, okay, so the pawn's taken back. That's a pawn. White's getting a pawn.
And I think it's pretty also important for people to know that it's normal to make mistakes. And yeah, some players, they want to play like best games all the time, but it's normal just to accept that you can make mistakes, and that's normal part of a game.
True.
So are you saying if you feel like you're the better player and you've made a mistake already in the game, you feel pretty comfortable because you're like, all right, I already made my mistake?
No, I mean, it's like about some maybe inner pressure. Like, I mean, some players, they want to play all the games, like all the best games, and without any mistakes. I mean, it doesn't matter you're like 1,000 player, like 2,000 player, or like even higher. I mean, it's like some pressure when they made mistakes, they feel like pretty uncomfortable, and they think, oh, it's like something terrible. I mean, that's normal part that you can play creative, and it's different styles in chess, and yeah, so it's like normal. Even if you lose a game, I want to show it that yeah, it's like not. And against Muslim, like, I mean, it's pretty interesting position, and I always try to think what my opponent going to do. Like, so if you can see a game, he moved queen f3, and I'm trying to understand, okay, what's his idea, and I think that he wants to move knight f6, make a check, and then I lose my knight on c6. So my strategy here just to control the square, and then trying to think, okay, what I can do, and the best way, just play rook h6. I don't care that it's hard for me to castle after, but yeah, it's important. In game against godliness, so I mean, right now, my plan, as I have double pawns, I want to undouble it, and I want to play like b4, b5, and make a weak pawn on c6.
Wait, which pawn?
Okay, against Masrim, yeah, he trying to make some pressure on my queen, and I think it's pretty good strategy. And yes, the best way to play against some pressure also created. And so against Masrim, he moved rook d1. Right now, I don't see anything like bad for my king, but it's good for me just to play rook d6 and also make some pressure on his knight. So he couldn't move it, and yeah, he will have some problems after. Okay, against game like Hellasty, I think that it was okay to eat my knight, and he decided to eat my pawn on f5. And now I'm trying to open his king's position, and so I'm trying to think about possibilities. So one possibility, just eat pawn on f2 and open f file as his king located on f file. And another also interesting idea, just sacrifice bishop on g2. Like he has to take and then queen g5. And my idea is that his king will be pretty vulnerable. And I feel that better just take on f2, but also like, you know, sometimes you can play like risky chess, and that's also not a problem. And I'm trying to understand how good like bishop takes g2.
Does look good. Check.
Okay. Okay. I decided that it's okay to sacrifice it. It also depends, you know, against like whom you are going to play. And yeah. So against Masrim, so he played like queen e4, and here has like rook like e6 or knight e6 is like different ways. I like this idea with knight e6. My knight just protect king. And against Chesney Gaddafi, yeah, I mean, it's like in this pawn structure, I think the best idea for white just play a3, and even if you trade all pieces and all pawns on queen side, then black will have weak pawn on c6. So against Hellas, yeah, just follow my plan, and it's good when you play it just to have a plan and follow it, even if it's like bad plan or yeah. Yeah, the faster player just play
Yeah,
another games against, not against me.
is
Okay,
Hellas
about
gonna take your knight, do you think, or no?
we will see, we will see.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like
not
I
worried about
realized
it?
that it was pretty hard, pretty and about like Masrim. So I mean, I think that it's good practical chance he moved knight f6, but in such combinations it's good to like calculate till the end. So I mean here, like if I eat his knight on f6, he is going to eat my rook on d6, and it looks not so great for me. That's why I don't want to eat his knight, and I don't want to lose material, especially when I'm up material. So I just play like king e7, and that's pretty okay for me. Okay, against godliness. So I just like I want to follow my plan and play b5, and I'm just trying to calculate how good is it. So I think that right now it's okay. And okay, against Hellisti, I think that it was better practically eat my knight, even like he had dangerous position, but he had some chances. Right now, when I eat his bishop, I just have like I mean no extra material, but his king is pretty vulnerable, and I think that I got nice attack for free. That's why it's better even just accept it. And I even have better plan. I just move queen g1 and then queen takes f2. Okay, against Masrim, I think that it's not the best strategy just trade pieces, because right now it's easier for me to play, especially he has weak king and he need to play without actually his rook on h1, and yeah. So it was better to save it. Against godliness, so my plan was not to eat his knight on c3 straight, just firstly take on c6 and then
Whoa.
follow my plan. I don't want to lose my pawn, and
Whoa, that's
that's my
cool.
idea.
I like that a lot. He did this in another game too, attack two pieces at the same time. That's some advanced stuff when you know when to do that, not just take back, but add pressure on another side of the board.
Okay, okay. Also against Hellisti, a lot of opponents, I mean players, they can just take pawn on f2, but always it's good to see different lines and check different ideas. So now I'm thinking, okay, what else I can do? Especially even if I have a good move and a good plan, it's good to check different opportunities. So now I'm trying to think what happens if I move rook e8. It also looks good, and I'm not sure which move is better, but yeah, I like rook e8, this idea, and then see what he will do.
Right? I mean, how is that not checkmate? I mean,
yeah, I'm a little bit worried about bishop because then he can move bishop e4, and I'm not sure that I can take it back. So now I think it's better not to overcomplicate it and play normally. So I decided to eat his pawn on f2.
yeah,
Against Masri, my plan just to move my king to safe place and avoid checks, and then just follow game. So king f8, it's my plan. Okay, against chess in Gaddafi, like, yeah, I mean, his strategy is pretty good to trade pieces, and especially like bishops. But it also helps me to, okay, trade pieces. Against Mazrim, I think that it's smart idea for him just to try to activate his king. And now my idea just force his knight move away, so the best way to do that just to play rook g2 and attack his knight. Okay, against Hellisti, I think that in such positions just okay to play normal moves, and I think rook takes f5 is normal move, and as a result of my adventure, I just have extra pawn. But okay, against chess in Gaddafi, maybe I will pronounce it right in the end of our stream. So
I think
I mean,
chess NY Codify.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because he lives in New York, so like chess NY, and then Kodafi. Yeah, I believe that's related to his name because
He's a
his name
fan
is
of the
Odafi.
politician Gaddafi.
Well, his
Yeah,
name's
yeah, yeah.
Odafi, so
Yeah,
he doesn't actually
I
go
mean,
by
it's
his
like
name though. It's like
it's
Odafi Efemue Benedict.
yeah. So actually, about this position, like I mean, a normal move just castle, but also I always try to think about other good moves, and I see that his pieces located not so nice, and he is good trick for white just to play b5. And my point is that if he hits my pawn, I just play c6, and he can have some problems. And probably it's like also can be not so nice as my knight on c3 can be attacked. And I will see if he can find the best move, he will have okay position. But it's also normal just to check your opponent if you're not sure how good is he. And yeah, so against godliness, I'm just followed to like continue my development. And yeah, against Masrim, the best strategy for me just trade pieces. So I just wants to trade rooks. And if he's my pawn on f2, yeah, so against chasing Gaddafi, like, I mean, if I play c6, then he has queen c8, and I can have some problems. But from other side, it's also okay, and he will have like some problems. So it's normal, as I told, like sometimes to make maybe not the best moves, but some interesting moves. Okay, against Masrim, I think that it's old because he couldn't hit my rook, and I will promote my pawn.
He can't take the
Against
rook.
godliness, I think that right now black pawn on a5 can be like my target, and so I'm going to play like c4 and then attack it. So like
Godliness can
c4
hear
and
him
then
right now.
knight bishop d2 and attack his pawn. Okay. Against Masrim, it can be like some puzzles of like, yeah, I think that rook takes h2 is better move. I don't want to activate my queen, and yeah,
It's over.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, about chasing Gaddafi, he found the best idea, and that's, I think that it's normal. And sometimes when I play games, I see, okay, if my opponent can find the best move, we will play. And now I have like two ideas, like one idea play c7 and then support my pawn, or other idea just to play like knight takes b5, even sacrifice this pawn, but then I can control c file, and it's also okay for me. And he has pretty weak rook on a6, and I'm trying, but I like this idea c7. This pawn can be dangerous for him, and yeah. Okay, against Masrim, I decided to use my rook because right now I have queen d1, and that's finish of game. So
Checkmate.
okay.
Checkmate.
Against Helesty. Yeah. Yeah, against Helesty. Also, I can show you sometimes how I think about some ideas. I see that against Helesty, it would be nice if my knight can jump on f2. But right now, it's pretty hard to organize because my rook on a8 is hanging. So for me, it's the best idea, just move my rook away, and then I always pay attention how I can open f2 square for my like knight, and it can be some sacrifices, even like queen g2. I mean, it's also good to think in ideas when you solve puzzles or play games. Okay, and it's not always works well, and yeah. Against chasing Gaddafi, yeah, he found a good move like b4, and yeah, I think that he played pretty well. And now my plan just to move my knight away and move my knight on b5. Okay.
Even more support.
Against godliness, I just eat pawn on d5, and then I will take his pawn on a5.
Oh shit. That's a threat. And he can hear it too, but he can't do anything about it. He's saying, okay, takes back.
And also it's interesting because it looks like it's easy to play against some players, but yeah, and make some comments, it's not so easy actually. And I think the same with streams, like maybe guys can tell me that it looks like, oh, you just talk on camera and nothing special, but yeah, it's also can be hard work.
Well, it's hard when your
Wow.
opponent is listening to you also.
Act, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, when
yeah.
he was like, all right, I'm going to go B4 and then B5, I was like, okay, all right, what can I do?
Okay,
Then?
okay, yeah, especially like I will eat your pawn on a5. Okay, okay. It's like the same I know about poker. Like sometimes
You
people
notice I took
like,
like 10 minutes.
yeah, can see your cards. I mean, yeah, but yeah, against godliness, I think that it's pretty good idea. He decided to use that, yeah, my pawn on d4 pin, and he made some trick on me. It's also good to calculate till the end. I can show what I mean. So it looks like if I hit pawn on c6, he is going to move knight b3, and a lot of players can see, oh, then it's like finished for white because I couldn't move. It's like fork, and I couldn't move my rook on b1 because bishop controls it. But then it's good to calculate such lines till the end. So I see that if I move rook a3, taking his knight, he is my bishop, but then his knight like trapped. And I can move king g2 and eat his knight. So that's
Yeah, so I
why,
missed
like,
that
at
line.
least I'm consider such variation. I'm not sure that it's the best, and probably
But we're
I
about to see it.
can play straight rook a3, but at least
This is
I think about
fascinating though,
this.
because I'll be honest, I only looked to B3. You know, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
it's like
you're
it's
right,
what
you're
all
right.
Oh, he's talking
this
about this.
what all
This.
players do, like during puzzles or games. Okay, knight b3, that's nice, but yeah, I mean that's like maybe the difference in processing. But for me, it looks like, I mean, it's a key variation for white, but now I'm thinking it's better even to say my bishop, and I think
don't
rook
know.
a3
Let's
straight
see.
is better because his knight under attack and his pawn on c6, and he need to move. I mean, also if you consider like his squares where he can move a6, but it's bad. He blocks like a file, and I can eat pawn on a5, and he need to move knight on d7 or b7, but then I eat pawn on c6, and yeah. So another possibility like for him like knight e4, but also he blocks his bishop. That's why it's like pretty fine for me, and yeah, that's why rook a3 looks better. Okay, maybe Helesti also like realized that he need to control f2 square, but yeah, I mean he moved rook, and probably it was better to move king away because now I'm going to move my queen on g1 and continue my plan to move my knight on f2. I think my worst position against Chesin Gaddafi, but at least, I mean, he extra 2 pawns, but you know, I have a nice compensation. I mean, firstly, I can eat his pawn back, and I mean, his pieces is pretty bad located. That's what I will use. So, I mean, sometimes even you can be up 2 pawns and not happy with your position. Okay, against Helest. I need to make some break and drink.
Take a break, take some water. Absolutely. Yeah, it's so much fun. This is such a great time. It's great to hear the thought process and yeah, some really fun games. So for anyone wondering, I'm selectively controlling when I'm talking to the Zoom with IM Ilya Golichenko and Avi, and when I'm not. So that's why sometimes it seems like they hear me, and sometimes it doesn't, because that's the reality. So this is the game they're both playing against each other. Godliness taking some time to think. Yeah, it's looking somewhat even, but if these bishops become useless, then it's clear. I mean, white will have a lot more activity, especially because what's going on here.
Okay, against Helesti, you know, sometimes you can see some weird moves, and I can try to explain how it works. I see that, you know, he can play like queen e6 and attack my knight on this and make a check. And it's not so bad for me, but it's like, you know, his stress. So I'm thinking about moving king on h8. It's one idea. It even looks weird. But another idea, I think that I can use my knight, and I can move my knight on g5 and control z squares. This looks okay for me.
To control this square, so there's no check.
Okay, against Chess and Gaddafi, like so, I'm going to continue like protect my pawn, so I move rook c1, and
Okay,
it looks good for me.
Yeah, it does look like black runs out of ways to attack that pawn without getting sort of absurd. Yeah, I mean, the knights, I mean, one knight can go there. Yeah, wow, very interesting game. Yeah, the only one that's in any way dangerous for IM Golichenko. Okay, back to the fifth board. No, that was the checkmated board. And then this board we were just looking at. Okay, so
Okay, against chess and Gaddafi, like, so now also like how I can think and what I can see that I see that right now, I mean, he moved his knight. Of course, he wants to make some pressure on my like pawn on c7, but it's now well protected. But I see that his knight on d7 under attack, and I'm trying to think like how I can move my knight away, like knight like a3, something like that. Even I just consider even rook takes a3, just with the idea that it's okay for me if like he will eat like by bishop. But my main point here, just like I want to eat his knight, and I even consider moves like knight d6. It looks weird, but it should be okay for me. And like if he is my knight, then I eat his knight on d7, and then I will have strong attack. But I'm trying to think how good is that, and yeah. So always I check like my ideas, and
that seems like a really
to be honest, I'm not sure. So yeah, happy with that. So I think that normal moves here would be better, just like just take pawn on h3.
yeah.
And I prefer to take by rook and save my knight on d5.
Yeah.
Okay, against godliness, so yeah, I think that he followed my recommendation and moved his knight on e4. So now just e pawn on c6. Should be okay.
Celeste is still thinking. Chess and my Codife is still thinking. Wow, Zoom blurs out the drink as if it's censored. Godliness Castles, a late game castle, 16th move. You love to see it, and then we see okay, yeah. See, this is when it's starting to seem like okay, white has a very clear advantage, more than just a pawn.
Okay, so Chess and Gaddafi decided to accept my sacrifice, and that's pretty good. So I want to show how good pieces can be, even like with extra exchange. His position looks pretty tough, at least for me.
Yeah, this looks very interesting.
Yeah, and it's called like positional sacrifice. So when I just sacrifice pieces, and yeah, I mean, just like for getting some position advantage.
Very interesting. Very excited to see what happens in this one. Like, do you immediately come in and are like you're threatening this knight? Where does this knight go? It obviously can't go there.
Okay, against Hellisti, he decided just to trade queens. I mean, generally, like it's not the best strategy when you're down material, but I think in this case it's a good idea because my queen was pretty strong piece, and yeah.
Very strong queen. Okay. Now, do you just do that?
Against Hellisti also, I just want to keep my knight on g5 because my knight controls like f3, e4 squares, and his knight couldn't move there. So I just play h6 and have a possibility to move my rook.
Yeah.
Also, interesting about godliness, I decided not to tell about my plan, but right now I can play like g4, and I'm not sure like does he calculate all these lines or not, but it's my plan, and I'm trying to think like how good is that, because the point that if he can eat like my pawn on c6, I eat his bishop, then he takes my bishop on c1, and but as result, it should be more or less okay for me. But yeah, I'm not so happy because he will eat my rook on h1 as well. But at least I can show that, yeah, I mean, when you play such moves, it's good to see, and yeah. So I'm decided just to think what else I can do. But g4, my idea just to deflect his bishop. I mean, his bishop is defender of knight, and if he move his bishop away, he will lose like his knight. And I think that it's pretty okay for me. And
I will
yeah,
say
and
it's very interesting, this analysis.
Oh,
I didn't consider g4, but I absolutely saw the line that you just discussed, and would already have done that. But my other move that I was considering was just knight to d6 right away. So it's interesting that you point out that I can get kicked in this way, because I was like, well, I could back up, kind of, encourage the exchange, but why?
yeah, that's
But
good
now I see
question.
why.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah, it's very interesting.
And also like, I mean, I can also show about chess in Gaddafi, like some important moments. I mean, a lot of players, like, I mean, when you see such position, they don't, they don't consider such aggressive moves. And even what my plan, actually, I see that I want to move my knight on d6, but his knight like located on e8. So my plan even like try to attack his knight, and I even consider like some moves like queen e7. I mean, I'm going to make this move. And then I even consider like such moves like queen takes e8. It looks crazy, and a lot of players, they just ignore such moves. But my point is sometimes his knight can be even better than queen, and then he has to move rook away, and then I move knight d6. And his queen under attack, his rook under attack, and I can push my pawn. That's also important moment, especially he has some problems with back ranks. That's why I think that it's good move. Yeah, against uh, godliness, I think what my plan was like my bishop under attack, and it's good time just to finish my development and just castle. Never too late to castle. It's like also important point
that's true.
that players need to know.
Never too late. It's inspiring. I live by that motto. It's never too late to castle.
Okay, so chess and Gaddafi decided to move knight g6. It was like, move I was expected. And yeah, so what's now my plan actually, uh, just to show how good can be pieces, like, so normal move would be like queen d7, but now I consider like this move, queen takes e8, like rook takes and then knight d6. And actually,
Oh.
it looks pretty good. I mean, he can eat my pawn on c7. That's what I'm not too happy about that. But all other variation is good for me. If he moves queen away, then I eat his rook, and I will promote my pawn. But right now, I think that queen e8 is like not the best move, and I will do other move. But it's good at least to think about such moves. And now also, like my first instinct tells me like just to play queen d7 and attack his rook. But other thing also, what else I can do? I can move my queen on d8. The idea is that he couldn't take my queen because I promote my pawn. And actually, why I want to move my queen on d8? I want then to move my knight on d6 and attack his queen in that way. So now I'm trying to think, which move. The pluses of queen d7 moves that then I can move knight g5 and attack him from other side. And probably I will move queen d7 just to see what this guy will do. And also to show that how good position can be, especially like in this case.
By the way, y'all, I'm the one drawing the arrows, so if they don't always match up with what IM Golichenko saying that is my fault. What's going on in their game? Oh, we got the interesting, the doubled rooks. You're probably gonna see something normal like that, no? Or do you just see nah? Because takes. I don't know. We'll find out. Celeste game oh, very interesting this game. So we did see that queen trade. I don't know. Black definitely is in control, but white could mount some sort of attack at some point. You could see. I mean, I don't know exactly how. I guess I'd be trying to.
You're muted, Ilya.
He knows.
Yeah, I know. It was like some sound, like, I mean, my
Oh, were you
girlfriend,
talking to
she made-
someone else, or?
Yeah. I mean, it's my girlfriend. So yeah, I mean, about like also some comments about game against just wait against godliness. So I mean, rook c8 right now is
You
a
don't
king.
have to give me advice, but you can.
Yeah, but I mean, just to show you that not right
Yeah, I'm
now
loving
I can eat bishop, because then if he is my bishop on c1, I eat knight. So for me now it's like acceptable. So my king can save
Oh
face,
no.
and everything is fine. Sorry. Maybe it's not too kind for me, like to made it with.
No, it's good.
this,
It's
like,
better for
meeting.
the content and the stream.
Yeah.
It's more
And
This is
entertaining.
lovely. This is lovely.
Yeah, so you know, Abby's fucked. Obviously, this is. I mean, at this point, what do you even do? You basically
Yeah,
have.
against Jason Gaddafi. Now I want to follow my plan and actually sacrifice a queen, because
Going for it.
otherwise my viewers can say that, oh, we're just only talking about some crazy moves. And
This is gonna be
not
very
make
cool.
this.
Yeah. I don't think Chess NY Kodafi saw that coming. I don't think they expected that move.
Yeah, against Calliste,
Well,
I
he's
can
not
say
listening
that
to the Twitch.
he play pretty well, and I like his strategies that he developed his pieces, and that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's like how people need to play. And yeah, I mean, and I just follow to trade some pieces and make it simpler for me. Wait, oh, okay, against Jason Gaddafi, like the 96. Okay, Godliness wants to eat my pieces. And actually, from one side, he won a pawn, and that's cool. But from other side, he gives me more opportunities. What I mean that now I can say my dark squared bishop move, like bishop d2. It's like, I mean, it's possible move. Like another idea, I can eat his knight on f2. It's also okay. So I mean, from one side, it gives some extra pieces for black, but from other side it gives me some chances. But I like the idea to eat knight, trade rooks, and move to win endgame.
Yeah, he's up by so much. He can get into the end game here, and he's comfortable for sure. Very comfortable. It's even like it's contained. It's like a good, not bad pawn structure. You know what I mean? It's not like he has some random pawns going all different directions. Godliness is screwed. Okay, this is the crazy game. This is the really exciting one. So here's what we saw, of course. We saw multiple sacks. I mean, this whole game is a crazy cool sack. Let's check it out from the beginning. White gives up a pawn. Gives up another pawn. Gives up a rook for a bishop and a pawn. Gives up a queen for a knight. It's very cool. So, Chess NY Kodafi right now is up by so much material. 9 points. It's a very exciting game.
Well, he is a national master.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely see why white has a lot of benefits here. I mean, so is that the move? And then you just
Oh,
take
this is
his.
brutal. I'm just down a clean piece.
Yeah, obviously screwed.
Yeah, that's how it's happened.
Yeah, you have like
That,
no chances either.
that's why when you play against like I mean stronger players, it's good to make it simpler, then it's
Yeah.
like less chances I can make it complicated, and yeah, less chances for me.
You flew too close to the sun, Avi. I can't wait to see what.
Maybe instead of knight takes f2, it makes more sense to just go g takes f5 on move 20. So I lost the bishop, but at least I protect that knight and its pivotal square, and I don't trade off all my pieces for just a game loss.
From one point I want to say something optimistic for you, but to be honest, it's like it's too late. I mean, it's also important stuff, like when you play a game, to understand like critical moments. And when you lost one piece, it's like, to be honest, it's too late to analyze it. And I mean it's better to think previously what was like a mistake and other stuff. That's why, yeah.
Oh, so you think that it's hopeless actually by the time you take my bishop?
Yeah, because I had already, just like this piece, and yeah, I mean that's like, yeah, I mean that's the
But I
point,
think I have a lot more counterplay if I go g takes f5 on move 20, because then I could swoop the rook into the g file. There's all sorts of things I can do.
Possibly, but I mean, yeah, at least like then I have comfortable position. Yeah, probably, but yeah, to be honest, it's like not so many chances. Like,
Okay. I respect that.
yeah. I mean, it was better to think like what to do before I played g4, in that moment. But after, yeah, it was pretty. I mean, about like chasing Gaddafi, I mean, it's pretty weird move f6, and I mean, he gave me a free like queen, and I mean, it was much better for him just to eat my pawn on c7, like queen takes c7, but especially it's important moment when you understand that you lose a piece, and it's better not to lose it for free. It's better just at least get the best price, especially like my pawn. I mean, it's like pretty dangerous. Now I just takes it, and yeah, I mean, I will promote it later. So I don't understand this idea. So I mean, I appreciate it like like a chess player, but yeah, I mean, it was not the best
I don't even
idea.
understand what the idea is with f6.
Yeah, that's what I saw. That, yeah, I mean, it's good when you play to have an idea and understand. It's I can only understand if it was a misclick, and yeah. Mm. It's also important to see, like, I mean, the same with life, always you have some problems. It's good to have a priority, like, and understand like what's your priority and what do you want to solve, firstly, and what to solve then. So I mean, his idea was like not the best.
Well, you
But
pose a lot of different problems at the same time, and then your opponent can forget about one of them or two of them, or
yeah, that's like how it works, this strategy of like, I mean, I take into weaknesses and other stuff that when you create a lot of problems, and I try to make it pretty complicated, and just, yeah, and for my opponent it's harder to solve it. And, yeah.
Oh, so the game ended. Yeah, okay. They resigned. So we got 2 games left.
Okay, against. Again, godliness, I just need to make normal moves and not to make blunders. But
Yeah.
for me, it was strange that a lot of players, they just, yeah, I mean, miss like such positions when you up materials. So here, my strategy just to create like, let's say, pass pawn or like take his bishop, and yeah. Generally, I want to trade like rooks and then move to winning endgame. it can be my plan. And for black, it's hard to make some recommendation because, yeah, I mean, I didn't see any counterplay, and yeah.
No, black has no chance here.
Thank you.
For black, I would recommend suffering and listening.
Well, I'm glad to know that if we switched the positions right now, you would feel very uncomfortable with your chances.
Yeah. I can be honest with you. Yeah, that's true. And I think I will lose a game. And yeah, it's good, also to understand like a real level and, I mean, to accept it. Compare with Magnus Carlsen, I'm just like a kid, and against other players, I'm pretty good. And it's good to know, your position. And yeah, I mean, that's like the same with this position. Yeah, I can accept that. Yeah, I will lose it like for black. And yeah, I think even Magnus Carlsen can lose it. Yeah, for black. Yeah, also interesting stuff about this. So anyway, I want to activate my pieces, and I'm going to move knight e5. My knight protects bishop, and yeah, also like my knight can create some problems for black. Okay, maybe it was a blunder against the Gaddafi, like because he resigned the game, and yeah, I think it was just a blunder.
I think so.
Or misclick, I don't know, maybe we can ask him, or he can write us like some comments. Okay, about godliness, also I didn't want to make comments. I mean, just not to give some advice. So my idea of knight e5 also was, I mean, from one point to protect my bishop, and other things that I saw that his bishop on f8 is
I know.
and
I fucked it up.
That's why I'm going to
knight to d7. I know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Can I explain what my analysis was
sure,
just there?
Sure.
Even though it was mistaken. So I figured, okay, if I capture g takes f5, and then you take back with your bishop, then I push my e pawn, attack your bishop, and get to develop my bishop.
Yeah.
What I didn't consider was, you just won't take the pawn. You just double attack my bishop, and it's game over.
Yeah, that's true. But to be honest, also, I mean, it's a key strategy. Especially when you're in bad position. I mean, anyway, you will lose if you play normally. It's good to try to use some chances and make it tricky. Like, yeah, against Hellesty, what an interesting moment. Like, I mean, he also played well. I mean, he played like d5 with the idea just to create some counterplay. And right now, his point that if I eat his bishop, he eats like my knight, and then he attacks pawn on g7. Fortunately for me, it's okay because then I'm going to play g6. Okay, yeah, it's like last chance of godliness. I mean, of blitz. It's like in bullets you can do this stuff.
This little desperado, I figured maybe if you were talking a little too much,
Yeah. But to be honest, also the difference between like internet chess and real chess. I mean, in real, if you do such tricks, it would never work. Even if I have 1 second, I see that you move rook on the attack and I can catch it. In internet, it works pretty well, especially in bullet. Like that's why it's a good trick. And yeah, I see that you're a pretty experienced internet player. Yeah.
I wanted to say, you were mentioning Magnus Carlsen. At the moment, he's playing Anand in a classical game in Norway, and Magnus is actually under some pressure.
Well, Anand has been on fire.
Yeah.
He's been taking down the squad, and now he's re-hit the top 10.
Yeah. I can say that about Magnus. So, I mean, he is pretty nice player, especially I like, some different, psychological aspects of the game. And it was interesting. I saw his interview about his match against like Nepomniachtchi, or maybe about another match, and he told that it's like some kind of sport motivation that to win a game you need to win a game against you, so the first game you need to win is like against you, like inside yourself. And he thought that he needed like a lot of time to prepare for that, and that's why I think that a lot of players, when they play against Magnus Carlsen, it's hard for them to play, because I know this feeling. I played against some players And when you're trying to play, and I know my normal like level of like process, how I think and other stuff. And at a point when I feel that, oh, this player is pretty good, I can lose a game and other stuff, and that can, just help my opponent. And I think that's why a lot of chess players, they are like tell about Magnus that it's pretty hard to play against him. That, yeah, I mean, this point that he is pretty good fighter, and when they play against him, like they feel like, oh, I'm like bad player, even if they're like, top players. And okay,
Wow.
yeah, so it's like all games over. And
Over.
Yeah, so I just want to point out that when I was considering knight to d6, heavily considering it, and it was the best move on the board, the only reason I didn't make it was because I didn't know why it was a good move.
Wait, when?
And when he went g4, and I went rook to c8 on move 15.
17, yeah.
17, thank you.
Yeah.
Correct. And the other move that I had spent more time analyzing was knight to d6, and it's actually the best move on the board. It keeps relative equality. White still got an advantage because of that passed pawn. But it's interesting. The only reason I didn't see it was g4. I mean, g4 is kind of hard to see because you're just sacking a pawn, but then the tactic is so beautiful because you're capturing the knight, and then I can't capture your knight because you protect the knight that with your bishop, and then your bishop has a powerful diagonal against my rook too.
What I can say also, like, what can help to be better in chess? I mean, right now it's easy to analyze all positions, like, with computer, and he gave some advice. Oh, this move was nice and other stuff, but it's more important to understand it. Like, as you told, even like you saw probably, oh, it's a good move, but it's much better to understand why it's like the best move, and even to analyze it, or if somebody can explain you, it would be nice. And yeah, that's more important, just to follow best moves. Even it's interesting stuff about that. Like I like Grishuk and how he talk and play, and he told interesting stuff about that. I mean, in modern chess, a lot of chess players, they just see computer estimation. Oh, it's like winning for black, or it's like winning for white, or it's equal, or other stuff. But he told that in some type of positions, like it's I mean, it's a computer can show zeros, like, but it's hard to play because the point that actually that one move you can make and you lose a game. And it's like, it's some type of positions where it's like, yeah, it's hard to play. And, in other position, even computer can show that you're like worse. It's easy to play and you know what to do. That's like the difference. And, when you can see like computer and other stuff, it doesn't help you to understand, especially, a lot of players, they don't know how to estimate such positions well, and yeah, what to do. That's why it's much more better, to understand, even follow your own ideas, and than just follow computer and like, oh, it was the best move. Especially I like how, like, I mean, chess players, like level of like 1000, they check with best computer moves. Sometimes even I disagree with some moves because they are not the best for me. I mean, it's not humans moves, but people follow it, and I mean, that's like, I mean, from one point it's easier now to be better in chess, but from other point, like with such computer things, it can be even harder.
Well, I think that's so interesting to put it all that way. And I think, Avi, in your game, you just had to look at that position and say, okay, obviously my knight is very vulnerable if my bishop is attacked at all. You know what I mean? But you conventionally think of an attack on your piece as something that can't just be taken. But in this case, an attack
Derek,
on, yeah.
I actually considered that, but yeah. I looked at knight to h4, and I thought, well, I have a move to move out of the way. So if I am going to do my knight to d6 move, I might as well delay it because I didn't see an immediate problem with it, with my position. But there was an immediate problem.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But
So it's
I
not
mean,
that I gave it no analysis.
Yeah.
It's that I missed that he could kick and grab that massive diagonal.
maybe if we discuss some moments, maybe you can share some screens. I mean, because for viewers, it can be not so clear what we are talking about. I mean, it's like, yeah.
Sure. Should I share
about
the
these
screen?
moments.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it would be easier if you discuss some things. And yeah, that's what I tried
Oh
to show.
my
And
God.
even, yeah, and I'm not sure that, it's like easier, it's, you can imagine you play in somewhere in park, like, and you play against, home games and
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So when we get to this position, so if you had moved your other knight out, I always take. I'm sorry. I always take.
What the
That's why,
fuck?
I know this idea. That's why, better knight f3, and then if you hit my pawn on c4, I mean, right now, then I play a4 with idea just
Yeah.
not
So
to let you to play b5. Yeah.
This is my usual opening, and I probably should have done this just because I'm more comfortable with it. But I know that this is strong, but maybe I was wrong.
It's also important moment that it's good to follow, like, let's say, your normal moves, and when you like know which ideas is better and you understand them, it's good to follow it, and,
Yeah, it's
not
it's
to do-
usually not as good to play the moves you don't fully understand.
yeah, especially against stronger players. I mean, it's like more chances that I know it, or like, even if I don't know, like, exact moves, I can understand some ideas. And
Yeah, so
that's
look
why
at
it's
this.
good.
Like immediately, this is actually wrong.
I mean, bishop f5, I can say that, it's pretty suspicious move, because, I mean, you makes your b7 pawn is bad. It's better like play e6 or a6 or takes on
Yeah.
like
E6 is the
on
top
c4.
move. It's just then you block in your bishop. I don't love that.
Yeah. But it's also important things. I mean,
So I think I'll go
opening-
with this one again next time.
You only block it in short term. I mean,
I mean, it's important things. I mean,
You think
about
so?
openings theory is like, we can follow it, and you can see like most popular moves and other stuff. And a lot of players, they just follow it. But it's good also to ask yourself, okay, why it's like, works in that way, or why you need to follow it. And, when you understand the principles, it would be much easier, to play and understand all the stuff. And
Right.
it's also important point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's funny because I'm all about moving my queen to b3 or to b6. Like that's always my move quickly. So it was interesting that I gave you that opportunity so quick in the game.
Yeah, so here it's open, like, black moves queen b6, white moves queen on b3, and it's like, it's some kind of, who force your opponent eat queens faster. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
the point that then it helps to open a file, and
Yeah, and I
then
didn't want to go back here because I felt you were just going to fianchetto and then bring this bishop out quickly. And I couldn't protect with my bishop because of this pawn.
Yeah, it's even, I think, even straight bishop f4 can be played. I mean, the idea that if you eat it like after queen c7, I don't need to play like pawn g3, because your pawn
Whoa,
on
that's
b7.
beautiful. Do you see this, Derek?
show me again. What is
Okay,
that?
so-
It's so, your board is absolutely ridiculous. So it's so
It's
Yeah,
hard.
so maybe
beautiful though, right?
you can. I mean, maybe you can, like, change it.
So-
could be-
You don't like this board?
I mean, for me it's okay, but I'm not sure that viewers can understand it.
Whatever.
That's,
Okay,
yeah.
show the.
I like this board. Okay. So I was discussing this bishop coming out here, and I was thinking he would fianchetto first, and I can't do much to stop it because of these pawns.
Yeah.
But he goes, well, can't I just do it immediately? So, because I was discussing why I don't want to go here, right? And so he's like, well, I can just go here right away.
Why?
Because if I take it, he now gets the rook.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah.
It's great.
Well,
It's great.
what's funny about that? That's the same principle as the b4 that you missed. in the sense that it's the wait, was it B4?
Yeah, it's an undefended attacker
I'm
to
sorry,
remove the
G4.
defender from the
G4,
square.
yeah.
G4. It's the same principle. It's like attacking something
right.
with a piece that you can take, but it's harder to see that sometimes, to see an attack your opponent can do with a piece that can immediately be taken. But that's that next level.
And so I guess the important thing is to note when you're looking at the board, you have to understand what your piece's current jobs are, you know, because like if they're tied to a particular spot because of a defense, then they're more susceptible to attacks, because if they're stuck there, then the piece that's attacking them doesn't even have to be defended.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. What their jobs are.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's it for my game, because that makes plenty of sense to me. Do you want to look at any of the others?
You should make it a different board setup for some.
You don't like it?
No, I think it's harder to see for someone not initiated to it. So just for the.
Okay, yeah, we'll do this one. Or this one's pretty good.
Do they all look like they're in a movie, or do any of them just look like a board?
Yeah, but you'll see.
I'm just telling you, I think viewers, we're getting a lot of comments in the chat, like, I hate the board, it's terrible.
Are you really?
No.
You got me there,
saying that.
I think this is my second favorite.
Yeah, that looks like a normal board of chess, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I think this looks pretty good,
The background is still funny, but yeah.
They were too strict about it.
Yeah.
So this was an interesting game you guys played. This is Chess and Kodafi.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of flip through it, and if you have any comments, you can stop me.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
I just prefer this opening for white because it's hard to play against that. And
you're saying because you have all the space?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's pretty comfortable position for white that, I mean, it's pretty hard to play for black, and I just play without big risk, and I mean, it also depends, like what type of position you prefer, and like what type of position you're comfortable with, and so with that, it's like pretty nice for me, and that's what I try to show, that you can follow your inspiration even during the game, and it's an important part of chess actually.
Right. I think I've played this same position. This is interesting.
But for me, it would be interesting because normally I didn't play like d5. So it's like normally I just play like, I mean, not right now after we trade like bishops,
What are you saying?
No. I mean, it's like you can follow. It's like I can make these comments later. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean here b5, like normally I don't move b5. So I mean it's even top players moves. It's pretty nice. So I mean that's just like I tried different lines, and like b5 it was pretty interesting for me, and
Yeah, it's strong. And I've encountered similar positions where I get that b5 push against me, because I'm usually playing this from the black side. Because I do something pretty similar sometimes, and
so,
it's interesting.
Ilya, when you went into this whole line, you sort of knew it was potentially not good for you if your opponent made the correct moves, but you figured it was worth it to mix it up and make it interesting. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, at least I felt that it was okay, and sometimes it can be, I didn't know exactly, the estimation of that, but I felt that, okay, if he will find the best move. It's also sometimes when I play it, I can say like, okay, if my opponent can find the best moves, he deserves to win, or like at least to have a nice position. So it's
Yeah.
also, some kind of stuff that's what I thought, especially on the internet, you don't need to be too strict about results, about, quality of moves. It's good to focus on it, but not to expect too much, and
Yeah.
that's my point actually.
Try to have fun and play interesting moves.
Yeah, so about this position, like, yeah. But yeah, computer thinks that it's cool, and yeah, I can say that I agree with computer things, yeah.
Yeah, it said that it was pretty comfortable for you. But he's up 2 pawns, so it's interesting that the computer's saying you're up by almost a pawn.
That's very
But
cool.
yeah, it's important point about that, have to understand that, pawns, they are not so important. If you can see only like on material, of course, it's good for black, but, his pawns, they block. And even if you can say his pawns on queen side, they, useless. I block all them, and he couldn't use them. So, he has it on a board, but right now, he couldn't use it. Pawns. That's the difference, and that's why not always material is so important. So
Well, they
it's
also say that if you have a pawn on the 6th rank or further, it goes up in value. So that might be one of the things that the computer's calculating.
From one side, yes, but it's also important. It's increases chances that I can lose this pawn. If I have pawn on c7, it's much easier to lose this pawn.
That's true too. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah. The same for black. Without support pawn on a3, I can easily take it. That's what happened in game actually.
Wow, you took with your rook.
Yeah, that was the point.
Why can't he just take with his bishop?
But that's what happened in game.
Oh, that's what happened in the game?
But I also can explain it. Maybe, like for people, it can be interesting. So why decide just to take by rook? Because my knight just blocks his pawns, and my knight also protects pawn in c7. So my knight is pretty valuable piece, and I want to say it. But my rook on a1, actually, it was not so good piece because
it wasn't doing very much.
Yeah, and it's also it's a good example that the value of pieces also can change during the game. So
wow,
like rook is not always 5 pounds. Sometimes my knight.
So you felt your knight was worth more at that point.
Yeah. That's also important things. That's what I thought, not to be too strict about like such things, and yeah.
That's so important.
For beginners, it's better to follow such things. But if you want to be bad, and yeah, you just reach some point. Yeah, it's like rules, they're not so strict. And it's also, when you can see, sometimes grandmasters, they just make some terrible, like openings and other stuff. Normally I don't recommend people to do that and other stuff. But grandmasters, they understand this principle, so they can break these rules. But if you don't understand, it's better to follow rules. So this is different. So sometimes people think, oh, it's cool, I can follow it, and yeah. But yeah, firstly, you need to understand why you need to make these moves. Why this rule works, and only after you can then just break these rules.
This is a very instructive and interesting game.
Yeah. And I even just pretty surprised about, like, that computer even thinks that it was nice ideas, and
yeah, it's yeah.
Because I tried to explain it, how I think about that, and yeah, how it works. And,
oh.
But so do you mean about computers that here?
Well, I think he's surprised that it's got the double question mark on it, and it says you lost your advantage as opposed to the knight coming to e5. I see why knight e5 is kind of hard to see, though, because then it almost looks like you're giving up the pawn because you're no longer defending it with enough pieces, 2 versus 3. But I guess it's an X-ray attack, right?
interesting moment about computer. I mean, this is what I told. Sometimes computer too strict about you. I mean, it's like, such moves, they can be like, so big mistakes. Yeah. But he like estimated like a big mistake. But yeah, I mean, such moves like Queen E7 couldn't be like, I mean, if I lose it like in one move, it can be so big blunder, But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it literally says it's a blunder, but I don't think that's right because a blunder that takes you to equality doesn't feel like a blunder to me.
But why is it even a loss of advantage? Like I'm not even sure I understand like what. Okay, knight e5, you bring your knight into the center, of course, and then if the pawn's taken, yeah, you have some discovered attack on it. The knight goes.
Well, here's the line that it's looking at.
Does the knight
FYI.
go to?
yeah, like knight g6, it's what happened in game actually, yeah. But I mean, yeah, computer just saw some line and yeah, he thinks that. I mean, that's why I told that, I mean, computer not always shows all things,
Oh wait, show that
Right.
again, Avi. Show that again.
This line?
Yeah. Wait, show it
Okay.
slow though. Yeah. So
Okay, so the knight goes to e5.
Yeah.
Then his knight goes to g6.
Okay.
But you know what's interesting is sometimes you get here and it totally changes its evaluation because then it looks at other lines and it's like, oops. Yeah, like wait, I missed.
Yeah.
Well, what is
Yeah.
it saying?
No.
But here's what it's saying. And then the knight comes to d6, attacking the knight, the rook, and the queen, which I feel like you ended up doing in the actual game.
Yeah.
Knight takes, queen takes,
Okay.
rook comes back.
So it basically just forces that knight off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Knight comes in. I'm trying to see when is the evaluation? Like, when are you gaining your edge? Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Because 7 moves down the line, you're gonna fork him,
but
you're gonna promote. Like, yeah.
I think what we can say is that we are like bad players. We don't understand chess, and and we're trying to explain it. Oh, we are good players, but yeah, I mean, computer shows that it's like I just made bad moves, and
didn't you see 7 moves down the line? You can fork it, man. Whereas
so I made the blunder and then tried to explain.
Pretty much just instinct, And if I'm analyzing, I don't go more than a couple moves down, and you're like, Avi, It's interesting.
Yeah.
I see your idea here, but did you look at what would be the response to that idea? And because I can then move my rook here, and then you have to move your piece, and you don't have a good square to move to. It was very interesting when you just like looked down the line to see like what would happen. Is this actually good, or does it just look good?
Yeah. So we can, I mean, back to the game and the things that we can show normal lines for normal people, because no one understands
agreed,
lines.
Because that was absolute BS.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also a good example that sometimes people can make mistakes even in that way, and yeah, that's like how it works. And yeah.
Oh shit!
That's so cool.
It only puts you down a half point.
Not even.
Oh, it doesn't even know. Yeah, wow. Alternate correct. It just changed the eval. That's beautiful.
But that's what I thought, that I can think that it's like a genius move, and I'm so good player. But the computer shows, you're like a fish. It's a blunder. You lost your queen, and that's I was just like when.
Look, the computer agrees now.
Computer says it was good. It was too good.
Top move. Yeah. It's tied. I don't know how you saw this though. How did you see this? This is brilliant.
But I mean, I just show this explanation, and I mean, that's like how it works. So
I remember in game you were talking about it too. You were like, oh well, I'll go down there and then I'll take his knight. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, you even talked about queen d8, which I definitely would not have seen. I don't know at what point that would have worked.
Yeah. Generally, like chess, it's pretty easy game, when you understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't at this point. Yeah. It was a slightly earlier move. I think you were going to do queen d8.
I love that. Generally, chess is an easy game if you understand it.
Yeah.
Well, because
I mean, people
Yeah.
people makes laugh when I'm talking about that. Yeah, they like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, I mean, sometimes you need to be, yeah, just to make some hard work about that and other stuff. But yeah, I mean, generally that when you can understand it, it's much easier. I mean, at least to understand all these ideas. And sometimes, yeah, even I show that, okay, I don't know exactly, but I can follow some inspiration. And yeah,
Yeah, but
sometimes, of
how
course,
is
like,
what I don't understand about this is when you take, you're not going to be able to promote
yeah, but
because
let's
he still
discuss
has
it.
two
Like,
defenders.
we can
And
show
he's got a
this,
third
like,
one coming in. Is this why is this worth so much?
Wait, you
I
thought
mean,
he was gonna take on c7, didn't you?
yeah, I mean, after 96, so he need to block my pawn. Otherwise, my idea to eat his rook, other like eat his queen, and yeah, it would be hard for him to stop me. So I mean, queen c8 looks the most logical. But another move, I thought that yeah, he need to take pawn on c7, and then
And
he
actually,
has,
it's saying, yeah,
like,
that's
Yeah.
I mean, it's practically it's the best idea because I mean, I have strong pawn at c7, and it's better just to eat it and yeah, play without
But-
that.
man, I would not want to
But
play that
I mean,
move.
it's
I was
also the
black.
way.
If I was
Yeah,
black, I wouldn't make either of those moves. I just
yeah,
wouldn't.
because
I don't
you
want to
can be
lose my
too
queen.
greedy, and people can say, "Oh no, I don't want to lose my queen. It's my pressure," And yeah, and that's why it's like sometimes in chess you need to like to get better chances, you need to sacrifice something. So here's the same. Like let's just to show some lines. If he moves like queen a8, let's say, and then I just take his rook and he like in danger, and the point that then I'm going to promote my pawn, and I mean,
If I was black here, I would be not confident at all, especially after all these complicated moves that you played sort of confidently. Black has no moves really, like no
Over
attack.
here, black's losing because did you see I tried to defend the promotion square?
but
And
then
his
knight
kick square.
d6, yeah, that's
And
like
that worked.
that's how it works. And also when you play chess, that's why it's good to just make some pressure on your opponent. It's much harder to play against it. Like here the same. Like when I try to make such things, it's good not to overcomplicate it, and because you can lose in your mind and make blunder. But yeah, generally it's like that's like how it works. And yeah.
It's beautiful, so instructive, and
Yeah.
we just really
Hey.
appreciate you taking the time, Ilya.
Yeah. You're welcome. And also, if like maybe viewers have any questions, yeah, we can answer. And then yeah, I think that maybe we will do some funny things like this, like later. And yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been so much fun.
And you also can ask, players about feedback and yeah, like how it was for them. And yeah.
Yeah, we should do
Sounds
this
good.
again for sure.
Yeah, this was lovely. So yeah, just WhatsApp me how you want to get the money, like Venmo or
Yeah. We
and
can,
then I will post I'll make a post about how much we ended up donating and all that jazz. So,
Okay.
thanks so much. This was wonderful.
Yeah. So thanks for that. And yeah.
Okay,
Great.
I've got some friends playing ultimate frisbee, so I'm gonna head out that way.
All right, well,
Okay, so
see ya. Nice to meet you, and thanks for joining.
yeah.
Yeah, this
This
was
has
lovely.
been really
Thank
fun.
you so
Even
much,
with the
Ilya.
technical issues and everything, this was so much better than I even thought. It was so great, so much fun to hear all your thoughts and play.
Yeah, this was
perfect,
beautiful.
perfect. Okay, thanks. Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace, man.